It is 3:17 in the morning. The house is silent. The world is asleep. But you are not. You are staring at the ceiling, gripped by that familiar, nagging pressure in your lower abdomen. It isn't a sharp pain, not yet. It is a heaviness, a dull, insistent demand that drags you out of your warm bed and forces you to shuffle across the cold floor to the bathroom for the third time tonight. You stand there, exhausted, bracing yourself against the wall, waiting. You wait for relief that never fully comes. Instead of a strong, steady stream, there is hesitation. There is a weak, broken dribble that seems to stop and start on its own accord. And when you finally finish, the cruelest part of this ritual happens. You zip up, wash your hands, and walk back to bed, but the sensation is still there. That feeling that the tank isn't empty. That feeling that there is still something left inside, pressing against your bladder like a heavy stone. If this scene sounds like a page torn from your diary, I want you to listen very closely. Your doctor may have told you this is just part of aging. He may have used the term benign prostatic hyperplasia and handed you a prescription that kills your libido and makes you feel foggy. Or perhaps you have resigned yourself to the idea that this is just the price of being a man over 50. I am here to tell you that they are wrong. This is not a natural consequence of aging. It is a biological error. It is a warning light flashing on your dashboard, signaling that a specific, invisible mechanism inside your body has been triggered. And the glass of water you drank at 8 p.m. while watching the evening news, that was the fuel that turned a manageable situation into a nightly crisis. Welcome to BioVeritas Lab. I am your lead researcher. We do not deal in comforting lies or surface-level advice here. We investigate the root causes that mainstream medicine is too busy or too profitable to fix. Today, we are investigating the prostate, not as a gland, but as a victim of a toxic environment. We are going to connect the dots between your hydration habits, the hidden chemicals in your water supply, and an ancient Japanese discovery that challenges everything we know about bladder control. You see, the prostate doesn't just swell for no reason. It is reacting to something. Think of your prostate like a small walnut-sized donut and your urethral tube that carries urine out of your bladderies, the hole in the middle. When that donut gets irritated, it swells. It squeezes the hole shut. This is simple mechanics. But why is it irritated? Why does it seem to get angry specifically at night? The answer lies in a hormonal shift that happens the moment the sun goes down, and how a specific poison in our modern environment has hijacked that process. By the end of this report, you will understand exactly why that 8 p.m. water is your enemy. And you will have the map to a solution that could restore the flow of a third. To understand why you need to stop drinking water at 8 p.m., we first need to look at the kidneys. During the day, when you are standing and moving, gravity and blood pressure help your kidneys filter blood efficiently. But as you age, a hormone called ADH antidiuretic hormone starts to decline. In a young man, this hormone tells the kidneys to slow down urine production at night so he can sleep. In you, that signal is weak. This means your kidneys are working overtime while you sleep. If you load your system with fluids late in the evening, you are essentially flooding a factory that has lost its night shift supervisor. The bladder fills up rapidly, but remember the donut. Because your prostate is swollen, your bladder has to work 10 times harder to push that liquid through the narrowed urethra. This creates a phenomenon called bladder trabeculation. Your bladder walls thicken and lose elasticity because they are constantly fighting against the pressure of the swollen prostate. It becomes stiff. A stiff bladder cannot hold much liquid. So, even if you only have a few ounces of urine, your brain receives a panic signal, full. Empty now. This is why you wake up desperate to go, only to produce a pitiful amount. So, the first step in our protocol is the strict hydration curfew. This is not a suggestion, it is a mechanical necessity. You must stop all fluid intake exactly 3 hours before you intend to sleep. If Lights Act is at 11 p.m., the kitchen is closed at 8 p.m. This allows your body to process the existing fluid and void it before you lie down. When you lie horizontal, fluid that has accumulated in your legs during the day rushes back to your kidneys. If you add fresh water on top of that, you are guaranteeing a sleepless night. But I know what you are thinking. If I don't drink, I'll get dehydrated. Incorrect. You simply need to front-load your hydration. Drink your 60 ounces before 6 p.m. Now, let's go deeper. It is not just when you drink, but how you hold yourself. I want to talk about the internal vice. Most men with prostate issues live in a state of constant subconscious pelvic tension. Because you are anxious about leaking or rushing to the bathroom, you clench your pelvic floor muscles all day long. You are doing it right now, aren't you? Tightening the area between your scrotum and anus. This chronic tension acts like a vice grip around the prostate. It restricts blood flow. And where blood flow is restricted, inflammation thrives. It prevents the prostate from draining its own fluids, causing it to become boggy and congested. You need to learn the art of the reverse Kegel. Forget the standard exercises doctors tell you to do to stop leakage. Those tighten you up. You need to open up to do this. Sit or lie down and inhale deeply into your belly. As you inhale, focus on gently pushing your pelvic floor down and out, as if you are trying to start a urine stream or pass gas. Do not strain, just release. Hold that release for 5 seconds, then let go. Do this for 2 minutes before bed. You are manually telling your nervous system to take the pressure off the prostate. I am curious, have you noticed that your symptoms get worse when you are stressed or cold? That is the tension kicking in. Or perhaps you have noticed it after a specific meal. Let me know in the comments if spicy foods or caffeine seem to tighten that internal vice for you. Speaking of food, we must address the chemical irritants. Your bladder lining is a mucous membrane, very similar to the inside of your mouth. Now, imagine you have a small cut inside your cheek. If you drink water, it's fine. If you drink hot sauce or pure lemon juice, it burns. When your prostate is enlarged, your bladder neck is constantly irritated, has that metaphorical cut. When you consume caffeine, alcohol, or highly acidic foods like tomato paste late in the day, your urine becomes acidic. It literally burns the bladder lining. This irritation triggers spasms. Those spasms mimic the urge to urinate. So, you might wake up not because your bladder is full, but because it is in pain. Eliminating these irritants after lunch is step 3. But here is the hard truth. You can stop drinking at 8 p.m. You can relax your pelvic floor until you are a master of Zen. You can cut out coffee and tomatoes, and yes, you will sleep better. You might go from waking up 5 times to waking up twice. That is an improvement, but it is not a cure. Because none of these things address the elephant in the room. None of these things answer the question, why did your prostate start swelling in the first place? We have been putting tape over the check engine light. We have been managing the symptoms, but the engine is still overheating. Why is it that men in rural Japan, well into their 80s and 90s, often maintain a prostate the size of a walnut? They drink tea, they eat soy. They don't do reverse Kegels, yet their flow is strong, their sleep is unbroken. Meanwhile, in the West, prostate enlargement has become an epidemic. It is happening to men in their 40s now. Why? The answer lies in a hidden mechanism that I call the hormonal static. You see, your prostate is extremely sensitive to hormones, specifically a potent form of testosterone called DHT. But it's not just your own hormones. It is the fake hormones we are ingesting every single day. Investigative research has uncovered that our water supply the tap water you drink, and even some bottled waters is contaminated with microscopic chemicals known as endocrine disruptors. These are byproducts of plastics, pesticides, and pharmaceutical runoff that are too small for municipal filters to catch. When you drink this water or cook your pasta in it, these chemicals enter your bloodstream. To your body, they look exactly like estrogen. Your body gets confused. It starts accumulating these fake estrogens. And the prostate, trying to protect itself from this chemical assault, reacts by growing. It triggers an inflammatory response to wall off the toxins. This is why the hydration curfew works. It limits the pressure, but it doesn't stop the growth. As long as you are exposed to these disruptors, and as long as your body lacks the specific nutrients to flush them out, the prostate will continue to swell. It is a biological inevitability. But the Japanese have a secret weapon. It's not just genetics. It is a specific soup, or rather, a nutrient profile found in their traditional broth that acts as a shield. This broth contains a rare combination of phytosterols and specific antioxidants that act like a key in a lock. They bind to the receptors in the prostate, blocking the toxic signals from the fake hormones. They effectively tell the prostate, you are safe, you can stand down, you can shrink. For years, this natural protocol was dismissed by Western medicine. It didn't fit the model of prescribing lifelong medication. But a brave doctor, whose work I have followed closely, refused to accept that surgery was the only option. He went looking for the truth. He tracked down the specific ingredients, the exact ratios used in these longevity regions, and he tested them. What he found was not just a supplement, it was a biological reset button. This isn't about buying a bag of herbs at the grocery store. The sourcing matters, the concentration matters, the combination matters, and the story of how he discovered this and the opposition he faced from the pharmaceutical giants who make billions off your prostate misery is something every man needs to see. We have prepared a full investigative documentary that explains this Japanese soup protocol in detail. It breaks down the three-step method to flushing out these endocrine disruptors and finally shrinking the prostate tissue naturally. This is not a short video. It is a deep dive into the science that your urologist is likely unaware of. It explains exactly what ingredients you need and how to use them to restore full bladder control in a matter of weeks. I have linked the controversial investigative documentary that explains this complete protocol right below. To find it, if you are watching on your phone, just tap the title of this video right now. The description box will slide open and you'll see the official blue link at the very top. I'll also leave it in the first pinned comment. Do not wait until you are in the emergency room with a catheter because your urethra has closed shut. That is the end of the line. You have a chance right now to intervene before it gets to that point. Tonight, try the 8 p.m. curfew. Do the breathing exercises. Feel the difference it makes to have a little less pressure. But do not mistake that relief for a solution. The toxic environment we live in requires a stronger defense. You need to flush the poison out, not just manage the pain. The report below contains the blueprint to reclaim your manhood, your sleep, and your dignity. The pharmaceutical companies would prefer you didn't watch it. They prefer you as a customer for life. Prove them wrong. For BioVeritas Lab, I'm uncovering the truth your doctor didn't tell you. Watch the documentary now.